Hey guys, so I'm back. So I wanted to try to film the video where y'all can see the full length of the hair. So this is going to be a video on this hair. So if y'all want to see where it's from, how I styled it and everything like that, then keep on watching. And guess what? This is actually a closure. It is not a frontal. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay guys, so this hair is from One More. So this is the box. And then on the inside, the hair came in this bag. So this is actually a 32-inch, 150 density. Now, with it being 32 inches, I would definitely say get the higher density. Like, it still looks fine, but the ends and stuff could definitely be a lot fuller. Like, I'm definitely contemplating going ahead and just trimming off this hair because the ends are a little bit thin for my liking. And then also this bag came in here as well, like the satin bag that you can store your wig in. They also included some lashes. Also got an edge brush. I have so many edge brushes, like it's crazy. And I also got some wig caps in here as well. And then lastly, I also have their little booklet in here with like their website and all of that kind of stuff as well. So this is the hair. So if y'all want to see how I got this look, then you know, keep on watching. Okay guys, so to start off with, I'm taking this scalp protector. I'm going to be using this pretty much every time, even if I'm just using spray and not a glue or gel or whatever, because I don't know what be happening, but something be going wrong. And I didn't have any issues this time whenever I used it, although I only kept this installed for a couple of days. So I just put my scalp protector on. I had already cleaned off my forehead with alcohol and gelled my hair back. So I'm just combing it back into place once again. And then I showed y'all how the wig looks. And then I'm just going to pop it on. This is actually a 6x6 closure. So you can definitely get that frontal look. And it's just a lot easier to do because you don't have so many knots to bleach. You know, it's a smaller area, and also for plucking, because it's smaller, you don't have to pluck the whole hairline like you would with a frontal. So this is definitely a go. If companies have like 5x5s or 6x6s, it's probably what I will be getting. I like 4x4s too sometimes because it's still, you know, it's a closure and that's even faster. But if you want to do like a side part or something like that, I definitely recommend that you get at least a 5x5 or a 6x6. The 6x6 is bomb because you get so much extra space, but it's still not a full frontal. So y'all can see I just put the wig on and then I went ahead and parted it off because I just feel like it works better like this. So you can kind of already see how the style is going to be and make sure that your lace is lined up properly, especially since it's a closure. You know, once we put it down, I can't go in and move the part like to the other side or something because it's just a closure. So I'm just parting it off and kind of hot combing it into place to start training the hair. It's still going to look a little bit lumpy and stuff until we get to the end once I finish polishing off the look completely. But overall right now, this is just kind of pushing the hair in the motion of where I want it to sit at, so I can kind of see how everything is looking. And I'm also going to curve that part even more, which you will see later on, because even though I kind of did curve it, it's still kind of looking like a straight part and then like it swoops around in the back. But you will see once I finish off how it actually turns into more of a C kind of shape. So yeah, I'm just hot combing everything and kind of pushing it into place. And then I'm also going to push the hair back to make sure that I'm not gelling or gluing any of the hair down. And then I'm going to use some clips to kind of hold that into place. So now we can go ahead and start to get ready to lay this lace. But before we do so, I like to take off these little side pieces where the lace is kind of folded, doubled up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off on the one side, and then I will go in and trim it off on the other side as well. I just feel like your lace is going to lay so much better if you go ahead and cut this off first before you lay it. Just because the lace is kind of doubled up, so it's a little bit harder for that to lay down. So I just go ahead and cut it off. Plus, you don't need it, so just cut it off to start off with, okay? So now I'm going to take my Bold Hold Liquid Gold And this is basically, it's not a glue, it's kind of like a gel. So yeah, it's still like a glueless kind of method, but this is supposed to have like a pretty decent hold compared to using some other gels. I've used it a couple of times. It works really good. And yeah, I just think it works really good. And you get such a big bottle. That's what I like about it. But I have been seeing a lot of companies start to come out with a product similar to this, like with the same type of bottle. So, you know, just check out whichever one you want, but I like this one. And then I'm going to take the Wig Dealer Melting Spray. Now, this spray is the truth. It is kind of expensive for what size you get because this little can is like $10, but this holds so good. And even whenever you put like your mousse to lay down your baby hairs and stuff, your lace will not lift up. It kind of acts as a glue, but it's just a hairspray. Like, it's really good. I really hope that they come out with a larger bottle, but the larger bottle probably gonna be high AF, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so after I spray that on, I go in and blow dry it so that everything can melt together and get nice and tacky. And this combo worked out really good. Like, I like the gel combo that I used with the spray. It did hold it down really good. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the lace down into place and just position it where I want it to be and kind of push it and hold it there, and then go in and blow dry it so that it can dry exactly where I want it to dry it, because you know sometimes it will start to slide back. So just make sure that you push it into place really good and make sure it's lined up exactly where you want it before you go in and blow dry or let it sit where it has set into place. So I'm just taking my blow dryer and I'm using a cool setting every time that I use my blow dryer. I have heard that sometimes if you use it more so on a warmer setting, that is what can cause issues. Like, my scalp basically kind of blistered up underneath my lace before, so I did definitely use a cool setting. And also the little button that like blasts the cool air, I did that as well. And even you can still feel a little bit of warmth from the blow dryer. So I definitely recommend just using it on a cooler type setting because it just saves you, okay, and my skin, because it's so sensitive. So I went ahead and tied an elastic band on and then also blow dried that once again. So now you can see it's looking really melted, but we have to go in and cut off this excess lace. If you prefer to cut your lace off first, then you know you could have already did that, but I do like to lay it down and then cut the lace off. Like, this has been kind of my preferred method lately. So I'm just going to try to get as close to the hairline as possible and still try to do more of a zigzag kind of motion and not just cut it completely straight. And I'm using some really small scissors. These are basically like crafting kind of scissors. They are like in the sewing section. And you could probably find them at like Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I got mine from Hobby Lobby. So yeah, or even like Michael's or something like that. So I just went ahead and cut off one side, and then I'm going to go in and cut off the other side. And you will see me kind of pulling it up to make sure that I'm not going to cut my skin or anything like that. You want to try to get it as close as possible. So I'm kind of pulling it back to where it's going to get closer to that hairline, and then just go in and trim off the additional lace. And any areas that have like a little bit extra, like here, I just go back in and kind of snip those off. So yeah, this is how it looks. It does give you that white kind of line after you lift the lace and cut it off, but we will fix that in just a second. So I did grab some alcohol. I used 90%, and then I'm going to just clean off the hairline where any gel or spray has gotten, just so that everything can be nice and clean and everything like that, because you don't really want to leave that on your skin. Plus, it's not going to work the best whenever you lay your baby hairs and stuff. So just clean all of that excess off. And then I'm going to go back in with my Wig Dealer melting spray and just go on the edge of the lace. And this is what is going to melt that little white line right into the skin. So I just take a bit and spray the hairline down and kind of pat it into place, and then I'm going to go back in with my blow dryer and a rat tail comb and kind of just hold it and mold it into place. And you can already see that that white line has already disappeared. and it's already given that melted appearance. So I'm just going to take a comb and kind of push the lace down, and also use the blow dryer on a cool setting once again to just blow dry everything and make sure that it is holding in place just how I want it to. Okay, so now I back the camera up a bit so y'all can see what is given, and then I'm going to take the hair down, and I'm going to take my wax stick and start to really mold the parting area into place. And this is going to really help to lay it down really nice and slick. So I just use the wax, and then I'm going to take my hot comb and start pressing it into place. And this basically gives you like an old school pressing comb type of method, like when we used to get our hair hot comb, then they would put that greasy product on first. This basically kind of does the same thing. It also gives your wig a really nice natural kind of shine to it. Just don't put too much or it will get really oily and kind of heavy. So yeah, I just went ahead and did that. And you can use whatever wax stick you have or whatever kind you want to use. You can pick them up from the beauty supply store or Sally's or anywhere like that. This one was from RPG Show. I just still had some, so I'm just trying to finish it off before I start using something else. And this one does work really good, but I feel like you can use pretty much any kind of wax stick. So yeah, now you can see I'm parting off this section here, and this is also going to give my part more of that C kind of shape and give it more of that curved kind of look. So I'm just parting this off, and this is also going to be my baby hairs instead of just bringing it behind where I had parted it at originally. And I am going to be going back in and tweezing out this area because I don't want my baby hairs to be too full. So as you can see, after I have went ahead and tweezed it a bit, I'm going to go in and cut it off using my razor, and then I'm going to take some of my wrapping mousse and start to lay the baby hairs. Now, I would prefer to do it this way than to do too much at once. So you will see me going back and forth. I'm definitely going to go back in and tweeze some more, lay it back down, tweeze some more. Like you will see me go back and forth, and I just left this footage in so y'all can see kind of the process of how I lay my baby hairs, because I don't like to tweeze too much in the beginning because maybe you will end up with it being too thin. So it's better to start off with a little bit and kind of lay it and see how it looks to you. And then if it's still too full, go back in and tweeze a bit more. So yeah, you can see how it's looking. It's still a little bit full for me, so I go back in and I'm tweezing it once again. And also I prefer to cut them a bit longer to start off with, and then if I need to trim them down, I will do that later, because if you cut off too much, you can't put it back. So you can see I'm taking my really small scissors and I'm just going in and kind of trimming it off. The camera is focusing in and out, but you can still kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm just trimming it down, and then I'm going to take the comb part of my little edge brush and kind of pull the hair down so I can get that gradual layered kind of baby hair look. Like I like it to start off shorter and then end up a little bit longer. So now that I have cut that off, of course, you want to clean off all of that hair, and then I'm going to go back in and lay it and swoop it back into place once again and see what it's giving. If it's good, then you know you can move on to the next step, but if it's still too full, then you can still go in and tweeze or whatever you need to do. So I did take a little bit of gel, because a lot of times in the first laying of the baby hairs, I feel like I need a little bit of gel so it can really just mold into place. And I'm just using a little bit of Eco Styling Gel. So you can see I'm going ahead and swooping the baby hair. So I am pleased with the thickness of them and everything like that. So now I'm going to move on to doing my little sideburn portion. Now the lace didn't come all the way to my ear, but it's pretty much right there. So I'm just going to part this off and kind of camouflage and give that look of it being an actual frontal instead of a closure. Okay, so I just parted off some hair, and then I'm going to go in and razor comb it down once again and just trim it off and get it as short as I want. And then I'm going to go in with some more of the wrapping mousse and start to lay it into place. If it's too much hairs, I just push it back. I did end up taking out a little bit more than what I had pushed back. So you can see I kind of like took some more out and kind of laying it into place. And then once you're pleased with this, then you can move on to the next step once again. So this part was a little bit bulky because this is like right at the end of the closure. So I'm going to go in and grab my hot comb and kind of just push it down on top of, you know, the lace and lay it over that area where the tracks actually start at. So I'm just laying it into place and kind of combing it behind my ear so I can see what it is giving. And it's definitely giving frontal vibes. Like, you can't tell me that this is not looking like a frontal, even though on the other side, of course, we didn't do baby hairs and all of that, but the hair covers it, so you're not gonna see that area anyway. But now I'm just taking some concealer and I'm just going to define my part in the lace area. And as you can see, I'm just bringing it all the way around, all the way to the back where I have it parted off it. And this is just going to make the lace match my scalp even more. And it's also going to make that part really pop out. So after I do that, I'm going to take some mousse and just apply it, because this is what is going to melt the concealer into place. I always like to say it's just like if you set your face with a mist after you do your makeup. This is kind of the same thing. You use the makeup, you're using a wet kind of product to melt the scalp color into place. So I'm also going to take a little bit of black eyeshadow and just kind of go on this little area here where it was showing a little bit of that brownish tan lace kind of color, and just kind of camouflage that so it gives more of a hair appearance. And then I'm just laying everything down into place and using my hot comb once again and everything like that, so everything can be nice and molded. I did already straighten this hair off camera, so yeah, the hair is a straight texture, but I did straighten it also. So now you will see the finished look and the outfit and everything. So yeah. Okay, so to finish up the style, I'm just gonna literally lay it in place how I want to wear it. Everything is already done. You can leave it in front or behind, and then you can wear this part down. I think I want to swoop it back behind my ear to give that 90s kind of vibe. So this is how the hair looks in my completed style.